In modern conflict, precision and reliability are everything. Technology now plays more of a critical role than it ever has. Whether it's guiding fighter jets through contested airspace or detecting threats before they emerge, the right systems can mean the difference between success and failure.
The site I'm at today is one of the most important in UK defence. From here, Leonardo develop systems that protect troops, that enhance mission effectiveness, that define the future.
To understand the scope of what goes on here, I spoke with Mark Stead, Senior Vice President for Radar and Advanced Targeting at Leonardo Edinburgh.
We've been here since the 1940s, actually, here in Crewe Toll, which is just about 2 miles northwest of the centre of Edinburgh. A fantastic, obviously, location in a great capital city. But we've consolidated a couple of decades ago back onto this site. And we've got about 2,500 people now operating off this site in Edinburgh. We've grown significantly further in the last 5 years, just in response to an enormous demand we have for what we do here. And the defence capability that we deliver here is delivered, yes, to the UK customer, but also around the world to many export customers as well. So it's a testament, I think, to our continuing success that we do continue to grow, to continue to invest as well in the site here so that we can produce ever more cutting-edge capability for defence.
The Edinburgh site now employs over 2,500 people. It remains Scotland's largest private R&D investor. Around half of the systems produced here are exported globally.
We continue to invest and have invested further in expanding our manufacturing hall capacity. Partly that's in readiness for what's called the ECRS Mk2 radar production for UK Typhoon jets, and all being well for export customers as well. But that also enables us to expand our capacity to produce airborne surveillance radars, which have been in never greater demand really around the world as the prevalence of uncrewed systems and the need for ISR, intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance insight and intelligence grows ever stronger. So we've invested further to make sure that we can build more and more surveillance radars as well to reduce our lead times to customers. But we're also investing in our laboratory, our roof lab environments, our test facilities and test equipment. Obviously, a lot of what we do here is airborne radar and lasers capability. There are two world-class centres of excellence that we have here, and both involve very high-power controlled environments of RF energy and obviously laser energy as well. And that means that we need to maintain very strong, capable facilities to support the growth of the cutting-edge capability that we produce.
One of the flagship projects at Leonardo Edinburgh is the ECRS Mk2 radar, an ESA radar, an essential upgrade for the UK and international Typhoon jets.
That's a UK-led programme. Leonardo here in Edinburgh are responsible wholly for the design and development of that system. We're in full-scale development of that at the moment, just conducted some flight trials. And I guess what is exciting about the ECRS Mk2 product is it's their first multifunction RF system. So it's not just a radar system on the Typhoon aircraft, but it also embodies non-radar functions such as electronic surveillance and electronic attack. So not just a radar, but full multifunction RF system.
Leonardo's ECRS Mk2 radar is not just about detection. Its electronic attack capabilities are a major leap forward, allowing fighter jets to operate more safely in hostile environments.
Yeah, it offers substantially more capability to the Typhoon aircraft, allowing them to operate in much more congested, much more contested environments, but also in a much more threatened environment. The system itself is highly classified, but it's by far the widest band active electronically scanned system, ESA system, that is out there in fighter radars, offering the ability to detect small, difficult targets, to operate in a jammed and electromagnetic environment, and also the ability to provide a very potent electronic attack capability, which has not so far been fielded in any fighter aircraft.
Leonardo's surveillance radars are essential for both military operations and humanitarian missions. One of the standout systems is the Osprey ESA radar.
Yes, we're seeing significant growth in the surveillance radar market across the spectrum of platforms we provide into. That's from small, uncrewed rotary platforms up to the larger, more significant business jet integrations we've seen of late. What Leonardo can offer there is a suite of multi-domain radars that can either be flexibly integrated through gimbals underneath aircraft, giving 360-degree coverage, or more recently with our second generation ESAs in the form of Osprey radar, offer fixed panels conformally under the skin of any of those platforms as well. I think Leonardo are exceptionally well placed. We have been at the forefront of offering ESA radar technology for a number of years now. And in doing so, we've managed to place ourselves with a mature product set that it can be flexibly integrated into a number of platforms. So we've seen these second generation ESAs on small gimbaled installations. So those are very quickly becoming much more accessible to a number of end users and at a better value price point. So those are becoming a huge area of market growth for us, but we also offer the larger Osprey 50 fixed panel radar, which is well suited to the larger platforms for the more exquisite end user as well.
One of Osprey's most impressive capabilities is its patented small target mode. This unique feature allows it to detect tiny objects in challenging environments by intelligently filtering out background clutter.
Some refer to it as the crown jewels of the radar, and that's our patented small target mode. What that does is uses some very intelligent processing behind the ESA technology, and that allows us to use a very high frequency update rate to pick out very small objects within the sea, but also more importantly, clearing away the clutter from behind that. So whilst it may be hard to see from the physical area in terms of using the eyeball, the radar will pick up a small target very quickly. And we're talking really about the size of a person bobbing in the water, picking that up at range very quickly.
What stood out to me during my visit to Leonardo wasn't just the very impressive, very cool technology, but the dedication of its workforce.
Well, I'm an engineer, so I can't help but be excited by the range of capabilities that we develop and produce here. I love the fact that we've got that continuing heady mix within the portfolio of development and production and support, of course, support to existing capability that we have here, but also those future capabilities that we're absolutely at the forefront of here, examples of which being GCAP, the Global Combat Air Programme, which I remember as a kid that I was inspired by Typhoon at the time, which was the next generation at the time in terms of combat aircraft platforms. GCAP is exactly that for our next generations, but also things like Dragonfire, which is a really cutting edge developmental laser directed energy weapon system where we produce what's called the main beam director for it. It's a very exciting time for that program, but also our general product portfolio is very high-end engineering, extremely capable, bang for buck, the best in the world. I'm really proud of that. I think all the people who work here are absolutely very proud of that. And most importantly of all, what that delivers is the end user benefit. The men and women who are in harm's way, completing missions around the world with our capabilities, with our systems, they absolutely rely on us and what we do to deliver the effects, the capability that they need to get their jobs done. And that's, I think, the biggest driver of all for our people, and certainly for me as well, in leading the business here.
As global dynamics shift, the ability to develop cutting-edge radar and electronic systems domestically has taken on new significance. With increasing geopolitical tensions and the growing complexity of modern threats, having facilities like Leonardo in Edinburgh is a matter of national sovereignty and autonomy. The capability to design and manufacture critical defence technologies within the UK reduces reliance on external suppliers and strengthens national security. By keeping these capabilities at home, the UK not only safeguards its own defence needs, but also supports NATO commitments, providing allies with reliable and tested equipment essential for joint operations.